I got my USA Green Card in 3 months. So did my husband. A lot of people were asking, Ife, how is that possible? What did you guys do? It was just so fast. We're going to tell you how.
Yes.
Timelines.
Yes.
The documents that you need.
Yes.
And the type of application we did that made us go through this process, faster than normal. If I
do say so myself.
If I do say so myself.
Yeah, we're going to give you all the gists. Yes, so let's get into it. Why did you decide to move? In short, the question should be thrown over to my opponents right here. I throw that question over to my opponent. Why did you decide to move? Because I can answer for her. I told her, you know what? I'm leaving Nigeria. She said, oh, wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promise tomorrow.
That's a lie. That's not how it happened. It was as if there was something between us that made us decide, you know what? We are now tired of this system. The system that we're talking about, the Nigerian system of doing things, of running things, of quality of life. And we felt, what options do we have?
I think we both came to the realization almost at the same time.
Yeah.
So we had traveled.
I don't know what happened.
We had traveled. No. So you traveled to Lebanon. You went for your friend's birthday, and I was in America already at the time, and we traveled through to different cities, and then we finally met at the city we currently live in. And somehow when we were coming back, it was like we both looked at ourselves and thought, this place is not bad though, because it was the first time in all the times I've gone to America. This was like the first time that I stayed more than 7 days or so. Yeah, and this was the first time that it felt a little different. So when I was having the conversation with her, she was having the conversation with me, and so it was like we both were in alignment.
Yeah, we were in sync.
Yeah.
As to it's
so, but
time.
why did you actually decide to move?
No, I was actually tired. I've said it many times. I was just. It was as if something was being sucked out of me. No energy. I love my friends, the people who were there, but the system was not. It just wasn't working for me. And something else actually happened during that same time when we were contemplating, maybe it's time to actually, leave Nigeria for a while or relocate or have other options. Something happened that put me at a disadvantage in that situation, not because of my financial capabilities, not because of my intellectual or whatever, simply because of my Nigerian passport. I was what was the word? What did I go through that time?
Devastated?
I was devastated, but I was also, you see how I was running around trying to resolve it.
Yes.
It was chaotic.
Yeah. And I think the saddest part was just knowing that it's just because, sometimes even when we've traveled before, just knowing that you are being in quotes discriminated against just because of the color of your passport, that's just sad, So being able to have the option to do something else, is what you were considering, I guess.
Yes, and have the legal right to do those things.
Yeah.
And be able to just live freely in anywhere that you want to live. I think for me, that was the reason I said, you know what, it's time for me to move to America, and also grateful to God have the options to also come back to Nigeria anytime I wanted to.
Is there any other reason that made you decide that, you know what, I really need an option to be able to, have a different type of life?
Of course,
somewhere else?
The biggest, most important one is my business, Dang Lifestyle, because we could see as a company that this business is beginning to get a lot of traction in the USA, in the United Kingdom, in Canada.
In the abroad
generally. So our international market, we had so many returning customers. The percentage was actually higher, than Nigeria. And we're like, ooh, there's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Let's go sit in America and see how we can blow up. Is it blow up? We don't want to blow up the business. Expand the business further. So have meetings, meet people, and let the country know, at least the site that you're living in, that there's a Nigerian business here that is doing well and would like to expand here. So for me, that is a huge, like,
Yeah.
a huge reason.
And I mean, since we've been there, we've seen how easy it is to conduct or transact or do things just because now when they ask you for some documents, we are able to just tender one form of ID or two forms of ID and they are good. I mean, before now, you have to show your, in quote, passports. And when you show your passport, as soon as they cite that color green, they are like, excuse me, we don't mean to do this thing we're about to do now, but you are going to hear from us. Don't call us, we will call you.
So even though I have another passport, but that's not where I want to be resident. Like, I want to be resident where I can expand my business in a way where we are global and recognized. We're a country where the beauty industry is thriving, which is the United States of America. And so for me, that was priority reason. And then the system in Nigeria wasn't working anymore for me. And then, you know, I just wanted a better quality of life. What was your reason?
Similar. Like, I think that our reasons were sort of aligned with the timing of moving and also the reason behind it. It was also just waking up one day and saying, you know what, I want something better for myself, right? And wanting better is not, I want more money, all those things are nice, right? But it was just looking at your current situation, especially with respect to the environment where you were. I mean, if you live in Lagos, it's almost like waking up and saying, you know what, I don't want the craziness of the island anymore. I want to go and live on the mainland. Like, it's literally the same thing. Sometimes people have even gotten up and say, and said, this is my English, and said, I don't want to live in Lagos anymore. Lagos is too choked up.
I'm going to Abeokuta.
Exactly, I'm moving to Abeokuta. That was like the majority of it. And then we had also begun to create new relationships and families, you know, outside of Nigeria, and relationships I wanted to explore as well. You know, so business opportunities also we wanted to explore. So yeah, those were some of the thoughts that made me decide to, you know what, yes, let's move. Plus, since the flower or guiding that I'm trying to I'm trying to
cultivate,
to steal. I don't know if you approach a whole garden, right? Since the garden I'm trying to nurture is now moving abroad. What is the horticulturist? What did they gardener? What's the gardener doing in a different country? So yeah, that was also part of it. On top of that, I really wanted to be sure that this was a decision I wanted to make at that time, because prior to moving at this time, I had wanted to move before, but it didn't feel like the right time. I remember the first time I went to America, it felt like I'm going back home, right? It didn't feel like a place I wanted to live in, right? So when I started to conceive that thought, right, it was very important to me that I consulted with the Holy Spirit, right? That I was persistent in my prayers, right? And in receiving that nudge and that go ahead that, you know what, I'm with you on this journey. So there are different routes to getting a green card, a U.S. green card. I would think so, but the route we decided to take, even though we had considered different options, I think we considered L1, considered the O1, considered different types, right? The visa category that stuck to us through that whole search and decision making was the EB1 visa. And the EB1 is an employment-based visa category for priority that gives priority to workers who have special or who have demonstrated special abilities in their various fields. You know, they call them aliens with special abilities, right? I think that's how they describe them. And it ranges across the board, right? There are different criteria that you need to meet to qualify to be considered for the visa, right? When we looked at it, they sounded like it looked like a whole lot, right? Until we spoke to an immigration consultant who broke it down for us, and based on what they heard us say that we had done, right, they were able to narrow it down to the different parts that we should use to apply for the visa.
Well, the first thing you say is that list is long. Like, the criteria isn't a lot, but the list under the criteria is long. So I was a little like taken aback, like, this is a lot. This is not what we saw on Google, you know, but the immigration consultant was very helpful in letting us know that, oh, you have it already now. I checked Google, you have that. I was like, oh, really? So let's break down for you what the criteria is.
So when we fell upon the EB1, why did we even decide that, okay, this is the one for us? It's because when the immigration consultant broke down the benefits and all of those things, we discovered
how quick.
Yes, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we discovered that the EB1 was going to be quicker, right, to get the green card, and also even a straighter pathway towards
citizenship. Yes.
I say citizenship.
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 Because I don't like stress.
Yes.
I don't like stress. I just wanted something easier, quicker, and no complications.
Yes.
Just give it to me straight. If I do this, I will get that. And that's what the EB1 visa gave us.
Okay, so what were the criteria? The first one, in short, I think one of the first things is that if you have ever won a gold medal, or not even gold medal, if you have ever won a medal at the Olympics or a Grammy,
or what they call those things?
Prize.
Nobel laureate.
If you are one of those, yeah, you are fine. You are good. You
only need that.
Yes, I think that's like one or the other.
Yes, so that's like a big standalone.
Yes.
On its own.
Yes. And
then
yes, the other one
or,
is yes. So it's that one as a standalone, or 9 or 10 others. Right? We'll list them out. The first one is judging the works of others. If you've ever been on a panel or in any capacity, you've looked at other people's work and given some grade, right? Based on you being a professional, not
in your field.
Yes, in your field, right? Yeah, that is one of the criteria. The next one is an internationally or nationally recognized body has given you an award for the work that you have done. Like, we see the work you are doing, and take this award, right? If you ever received any of that, yes.
So no award is too small. Like, a lot of people will look at, say, I don't want that award, Joe. Somehow, I don't want this award. You better start taking it seriously.
The next one is being a member to an organization, a national or an international organization. And then there's publication reference. You have articles.
You've been featured.
Yes, you've been featured on national or international
media.
Yeah, media.
It could be written or visual publication. As long as we can go to Google, search your name, and find that you've been featured in any of these publications, you're good to go. So
the next one is an original contribution in your field, right? This could be a scholarly article, something that you have... Like
you've innovated something, yes, or you've researched something.
Yes, you've thought of something new and you've added that into the industry or into your field, and that has been published. Yes,
or you've innovated something and trademarked it. Because when you say, I created this, it's an original contribution to your industry, did you trademark it? How do we know that it's yours? So if you have something that you've innovated, don't forget that it needs to be trademarked to be seen as original contribution.
Okay, and then the next one is authorship in a regarded publication. So if you've written a book, if you've authored something, you're an author.
Written and published.
Yes, you're an author or you're an authoress.
Don't write book and put it under your pillow. You need to have published the book.
Yeah.
Let's see where you published it.
Next one is history of earning a high salary for your work. So for those people who have earned very well. this one is where you come in. The last one that we considered was leadership in a distinguished organization. So if you've played a very pivotal role in any organization, right, you are not one of those that clock in, clock out. You actually contributed significantly to that organization, especially in your field.
And they can prove it.
This is it. Okay, so now let's talk about the process. You start with documentation and documentation gathering. Then you file your petition. After your petition, then you receive your EB1 approval or RFE. After that, then you file for your EB1. You file for your work permit, that's your EAD, and your green card at the same time. That's if your immigration consultant has sense. You file that at the same time. Then you do your biometrics. And after that, you receive your EAD. And after receiving your EAD, then you get your green card, and after that, you are heading towards citizenship. All right, documentation.
And all of this took us how long?
All of this process took us 5 months. No, let's go back to the beginning. The documentation process is the longest of all of this. And we thought, it's not this, because as soon as the immigration consultant was saying, get this, get that, we said, For many of them, yes, for many of them, just to go back to your email and dig them out. But then we quickly realized that we need as much information as possible, right? As much evidence to prove that you actually have these things, right? And
do you realize that in all of the criteria that we read out to you, you only need 3?
Yeah, I think you need 3.
You only need 3 of that to qualify. However, our immigration consultant said, both of you must try and get every single one of them.
No, Abba.
What did she say?
She said we should try and get like 6, 5. Like, so the idea was for us to get as many as possible. 3 is the cutoff mark.
Yeah, but
let's get as many as possible.
So so even if we have 3, she kept pushing for more. Like, no, do you have this? Why don't you get that? So as much as possible, don't stick. Don't get 3 and get comfortable. Get as much as possible so that if one doesn't work, another one works. So it took us a while.
Yes. So I think what even took a while was for each of those criteria, what you need, what was really important was not to, so for example, an award. Submitting one award is okay, but our consultant said no. Try and find the other ones that you don't think are important. Bring everything out.
So even though, which she said, out of these 10 criteria, you must try and meet 6. Out of that 6, every single one of them, you cannot submit one thing individually. So she wanted us to submit
as many as possible.
As many as possible.
All that process took so much time, and that was like
6 months.
Yes, it took over 6 months
to get all the documents in a way that it was satisfactory
to the consultant.
Consultant.
And so when we got our documents together, she was the first person to put hers together. I was still, working on mine. I was like 80% done. Then she filed the petition. I mean, she put them together, sent to the consultant. Consultant said we're good. Then they filed the petition. After filing the petition,
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, we got a response, and the response was RFE.
That's request for further evidence.
Yes. So they only okayed one of the criteria, and they said no, we need more evidence for the others.
I had a headache.
Yes.
I was like, I'm done.
Like we're explaining, you need, you need to convince us that these things are what you say it is. So they're asking for all of the things that will make us know that you really did this thing, you really have these things.
Yes.
Submit it, right? So we had to go back again. For some of the people that we had called before that were not responsive, and we thought, we'll do without them.
We had to go back and call them. It wasn't for me, it was not a time that I just want to remember, because I was like, after all the documentation that we put together, all the work, and you're telling me you need further evidence. There's no further evidence. I don't have. And our consultant said, drink water. So we went back to work. And that also helped your application as well.
Yes, because I now needed to cross-check some of the things that I had gotten before to be sure that they were on point and they were exhaustive enough for me to feel like, yes, I've gone over and beyond.
Yes.
So we did all of that, and then so she resubmitted, right?
My petition.
Yeah, her petition, and then shortly after that, I submitted mine. Now, here is the first raising shoulder moment for me. I submitted mine on like a Monday, right? They sent a message that they had received it on Thursday. By Friday morning, I got a mail. Your EB1 petition has been approved. I still remember where we were. There's a video. I still remember where we were when we got that email. It was...
I was just running around. we're at the grocery store.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was saying,
even though mine was not approved.
Yes, since they've approved my own and yours is pending, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Maybe I should just...
Maybe just marry
Maybe I should marry and help your life.
I said, no, I want my own. Yeah. But yes, it took 2 weeks after then.
Yes, it was 2 weeks after that, and then she got hers.
I got my approval.
When we start talking about how much it costs, we'll tell you that there are two ways to go about it. You can go about it the regular way or the premium method, right? The premium method. The premium method takes about 15 working days, while the regular one could take up to, I think, 18 months or so.
So we did the premium.
So we did the premium one. So that's why ours was, we got feedback that quickly.
Yeah. After we got to America, we were supposed to file for our green card and work permit. However, we needed to do our medicals first.
Yes.
Let's check if you have syphilis. Why did they do syphilis test? They actually did I'm like, of all the things, it's syphilis.
Let's be sure.
So yes, they did all sorts of medical
took some
tests, vaccines, and so that took like a week.
Yes, it took like a week to get the medical report
back. So then, as soon as the medical reports came back,
that was added to the petition.
To the filing. Yeah,
to the filing.
Filing for green card and work permits.
Yes,
and
then that was submitted.
Yes.
Yes. So after that, we waited for the response. We waited for a response from them, and the first person who got their response was her. Right, she got her response to go for biometrics.
Yes, to go for biometrics.
I was like, when is my own coming out? But I followed her, and then she did her biometrics. And then I got my email, I think, some days after that.
Yes.
And then I went for my own biometrics. But guess what? After doing my biometrics in the morning, by that evening,
they said his work permit is ready.
Somebody shout.
I'm like, what is going on here? Do you have a girlfriend in that place? What is happening?
It's the Holy Spirit.
I believe so.
This was actually just a miracle, because in the morning I had done the biometrics, and in the evening I got an email that my EAD and a new work permit card
has been issued
and will be delivered. Right? Yes, and that was amazing. That was wonderful. So again, we came back to, it's like, since I already have my work permit, let me help your life. Yeah.
But yes, it was just so crazy, because I was just wondering, how can I do something first? And they didn't call me, they didn't tell me anything.
The Bible says that the first.
They said the first shall be the last. But he was so proud.
Stop shouting.
He was so proud, and he was just doing like this.
So after this, now we've gotten, so you followed us to this point, we've gotten EAD. So the EAD, that's the work permit. EAD. Sorry, the work permit and the social security card, they were delivered at the same time. Shortly, it was like 2 weeks after that. It was like 2 weeks.
Yours?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks. Yeah,
yes.
Mine.
When did mine get approved?
No, yours was approved like a couple of days after that.
After yours? Yes, after yours was approved?
Yes, after mine, yes. Mm-hmm. And then next is waiting for the green card itself, right?
Your work permit came out first. Mine came out after. 1 month after my work permit came out, my green card came out. Guess who did not have green card?
Because the last shall be the first.
The last became the first. I said, wow.
And they started saying, should I help you?
I said, should I help you? Should I? Let's just quickly marry. And anytime it's done, I'll say, I'll call police for you now. I'm a resident. I'll call ICE. I'll call ICE for you. I don't have time, you know.
And then shortly after that.
1 week later.
No, it was 2 weeks later.
Was it?
It was 2 weeks later. Because I remember it was the 14th. Yours came on like on the 30th. And then mine came on the 14th of the next month.
Oh, true.
2 weeks. 2 weeks after that, I got a fantastic email that your green card has been approved.
Yes.
So currently, you are looking at 2 green card holders. God bless the USA.
God save America.
Arise, America. If I hold a green card, I would have just done cheers.
Question.
Cheers to the green card.
Do you think that it was necessary for us to have applied individually instead of applying together, even though we knew where the relationship was headed?
That you know where the relationship is headed does not mean that you're going to jump the gun, okay? Because, my brother, don't marry because of visa. Marry
because you want to marry.
Yes. Or have visa and then marry. Whatever comes first, but don't marry because of visa, because that was not even on top of our mind that, you know what, maybe let's get married quickly so that we can use the opportunity, you know, that's what
I'm thinking about, you know, like, why did we just apply differently without even thinking about it? Like, you apply, I apply. It was just, it just came so naturally.
Yeah. I don't think, the intention of getting the visa or even getting married were two mutually non-exclusive.
I know.
They were not headed in the same direction, right? There were 2 separate conversations and decisions to be made, right? So when we decided to move, we moved together. But when we decided to get married, we got married, you get here. So that's different.
We received a lot of questions on our Insta story. And so somebody said, were you nervous that it would not work out with getting your green cards?
Yes, I can answer that for a fact. Yes, in short, at the time she got the RFE, Madam was, there's one advert. Mommy, daddy is shaking 180, son. she was shaking.
Was I shaking? It was like I was disappointed.
You were shaking. Let's see, we'll be honest with you guys. You know, we'll always be honest. She was shaking because, again, we had done what we needed to do. So we thought, right?
So I thought.
When we submitted this thing, getting that feedback at that time was devastating. Like, come, we have zeroed our mind from Nigeria at this time to move. What if this doesn't come through? Was the question she was asking. But then I said, my faith and my God, I'm a chosen, my God will come through.
Funny thing is, I agree that his faith worked for both of us, because I was just like, this. I think I've been spoiled in a way that I usually get the things that I want, especially because I will go through the process, I will do what I have to do. So this felt like easy peasy. I have all these things, and then they came back and said, you don't have all these things. I had a headache. So yes, I was nervous that it wouldn't work out. And typical me, I started hedging.
Yes.
If it doesn't work out, it's okay. I'm coming back.
What's the plan?
There's no issue. It's okay. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
You go do you.
So it's important because we're Christians and our foundation is built on our faith in God. It was important for us that at that time when we began to feel that I'm about to speak English now, boisterous winds, that we kept our eyes on God, and it was important to us that we stayed strong in faith.
Yeah. Somebody said, did you get it after the civil wedding or before?
It was before.
We got everything.
We got everything before.
We got everything before even before the civil wedding.
Yeah, before the civil wedding. Yes, we got everything. Everything was done.
Can I apply without any business or family background from the US? Of course.
Yeah, I don't think you need a business or family background. I don't think it adds anything really, because there's a list of criteria. Look at the criteria, and again, we'll put a link in the description for you to speak with our immigration consultant.
Yes.
There's a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. We are not in any way trying to offer you legal advice. Neither are we immigration experts that are giving you, these are the steps you need to take. No, we're just sharing our experiences with you. Right? And from our experience, we can lead you in the direction that we went and say, try it the way we tried it, and we hope that you get the same result, right? But there will be a link in the description below for you to speak with our consultant, the one that spoke to us or that helped us on this journey. But no, I don't think that you need any
family
business
background
or family background in the US.
They don't even ask those questions. Those questions don't ever come up at all. And what I wanted to also let you know is that you would think that I don't have these things.
Yeah, you'll be shocked that
you do have it. Please talk to the consultant first. Don't write yourself off. If this is something you're interested in, speak to the consultants. You'll be shocked at what you can get.
In other words, don't look down on yourself.
Did you submit all your forms at the same time? We answered that already.
Yes.
I submitted first, he submitted after, but our approvals came like this.
Yeah, I'm also hoping that person is asking, did we submit all of the petitions together? No, we've already talked about the processes. So if you're in doubt, go back and watch.
Was this application done individually or as a couple? People believe it's easier alone. I don't know. We did it individually, but I don't know if it's actually easier alone.
I don't know. Again, all the questions that you have, like really specific questions, you need to ask and speak to the consultants. Right? They will help and they will answer. They are very, very professional. They will answer all the questions that you have. But I think I heard somewhere, that if you are filing as a couple or so, I don't know. Again, I don't know. Don't take my word for it.
Ask the consultant.
You may need to do some interviews, but that's that.
Yes. So those are the questions that were asked that we haven't really answered.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions, please put it in the comments. We'll try as much as possible to answer your questions. Concerning
Let's talk about costs.
Money.
Cost. This process, how much did it cost? Because some of you are wondering, we have watched this video from the beginning to the end. How much did it costed you? How much did it costed you? So here's what we're going to say. Again, we had mentioned at some point in the video that there are two ways to file this, right? Either through the premium route or the regular route. Of course, like the regular will be less expensive, the premium will be more expensive than the regular. So it's going to cost a little bit it's going to take some money from your pocket, right? Yeah, some dollars from your pocket. Yes. So, but again, so as to ensure that you understand the process and what you're getting into is best, in my opinion, for you to figure out if you want to go in this direction first, because again, there are other channels to getting the green card or even having a second option as a resident, right, in America. So you can explore those other options, right? But for this one, we did the EB1. I think it's the EB1A, and it cost us some money, right? It cost us some money, just some money.
I don't want you to be deterred. I feel like
discouraged.
I feel like talking to the consultant and knowing what you're in for, then you can begin to actually work towards it.
Yes.
And
I think they also have payment plans as well.
They have payment plans.
Yes,
and see if there's something that you really want to do. I don't want us to leave without talking about how we settled in. How easy was it settling in?
So I don't think relocating to a new country is easy. Moving from, so imagine you were born and planted in one place and you have uprooted yourself and you're going somewhere else. It's not easy. Even plants will struggle, right? So there was that struggle, you know, with even with mentally and adjusting physically too, because
most importantly mentally.
Yes, because we even went at the time when the weather seemed okay, and then all of a sudden it started to get really cold, you know. But thankfully, I moved with somebody who were going through the process together. You know?
That made it much easier. I promise you. I began to wonder, people who travel by themselves, who uproot themselves and go to another country by themselves.
Superheroes.
How do you do it? I'm greeting you specially because even traveling with somebody else, you needed to realign your mental state, knowing that this is not what I'm used to, but then making up your mind that this is where I want to be is the craziest part. In the caption, we'll be putting a link to our own consultant so that you can have that conversation properly and see where it takes you.
Yes.
We are available to answer your questions in the comments as well, because I know that we can't exhaust everything here. We just wanted you to know that it's very possible to get your green card easy without going through illegal means.
Yes.
And that we did it.
If we can, you can. C'est possible.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and answer your questions in the comments.
If this video was helpful to you in any way, don't forget to share it with somebody else. Help somebody else get this information. And don't forget to like and drop a comment. Like you said, if you have a question, drop it in the comments below. And most importantly, very important, hit the subscribe button if you're not. I don't know why you're watching us and you're not subscribed. Right? Yes, we know you enjoy, you know, sometimes you are busy and you forget. So just hit the subscribe button now and we will be seeing you in our
next video.
And if there's anything else you want us to talk about regarding this process or anything else that you've seen us do or showcased and you'd like us to talk more about, let us know also in the comments.
So those of you who are willing to go ahead with this process, we're wishing you all the best.
All the best. What's this? What's the symbol?
Peace out.